Another round of applause for them. All right. It's a beautiful morning right here at the British Council, and on behalf of the Maxwell Investment Group, let me say thank you for attending to our call with such speed and enthusiasm. The turnout is good, but unfortunately we don't have a full house. If you just give us 10 more minutes, I promise you we'll have the full complement of the house. University of Ghana Business School will reach us shortly, and then we shall commence everything on time and on point. I promise you that we'll do this in 2 hours, nothing more, nothing less. If we go beyond 2 hours, you can call me Adjoa. But I'm yours gracefully, Jerry Adjoa, and it's a delight to be the master for this ceremony. I trust that with your cooperation, we'll achieve the objectives for today's engagement. For ease of use, the restrooms are located right through the veranda outside. I'm told, gentlemen, you're to the left because the ladies are always right. We're not going to fight about that, are we? We have water outside. Beckon any of the ushers and they'll be glad to assist you. Any other thing we can do to make your stay here warm and comfortable, we're yours to command. We just ask that you place your phones on silent to avoid any interference in the course of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of MIG, I welcome you one and all. You promised you'd do a dance of Shatawale's new song. We'll come to that later. But let's have some music in the background. We're streaming live. I'll make the handles available to you shortly. Thank you. that, I began national service. My first day of national service, I sat in a vehicle because I had gotten a lift from a very big man, so I didn't have to take trotro. Nice AC, comfortable atmosphere. In the middle of the motorway, he asked me, "Young man, what are your thoughts about your future?" I said, "Say, don't examine life again." So I started telling him, "Oh, I want to finish service, start law, and then probably start a career in law, and then delve into other things." He says, "Well, let me give you some little advice. You're beginning the world of work. You would realize a few things very early. That the money you earn is not yours. It belongs to broader stakeholders. Very soon, a wife will come in, children will come in, and your life will take on a different course. But just start with a plan. It all starts with a plan." Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 18 years since I had that discussion. I look at my life right now, and I have 17 more years to go on pension. It's scary. But this morning, I'm thrilled because we come on the heels of that important injunction that the unexamined life is not worth living. And so we're joined here by persons who were in my shoes 18 years ago, young students. We come here joined by people who are at my current stage of life. And we come here meeting people who have traversed the retirement age and are in pension. Together, we form a big collective to really understand the impact of financial literacy in post-retirement financial security. You may not be there yet, but I hope that this platform gives you that much needed understanding of what your future will look like. My name is Jerry Edemajololo, and on behalf of the Maxwell Investment Group, I welcome you all ever so warmly to this thought-provoking conversation. Over the next few hours, what we want to do is to set in motion critical thoughts through presentations and talks that will come through for you to understand how financial decisions you can make today will impact your future. We're joined by officials from the National Insurance Commission, the National Pensions Regulation Authority, the National Pensioners Association, and the University of Ghana Business School. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. On Facebook, we're live on the Maxwell Investments Group, and on YouTube, we're live on Dr. Maxwell Ampong's page. Please share the links with any of your friends and tell them a very critical conversation on pensions and retirement is happening right here. Through the years, the Maxwell Investment Group, has distinguished itself, ladies and gentlemen, with a disciplined approach towards executing ESG-centric sustainability development goals, agricultural sector optimization, local and international trade of soft commodities, and market acquisition strategies. The group's strategic goals are intertwined with the broader development visions championed by the African Union's Agenda 2063 and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Through these comprehensive goals, the group targets fundamental human values and sustainability, grounding the activities in a commitment to human dignity, social equity, and environmental responsibility. To welcome us all is the founder and the CEO behind all that we see today. Make welcome my brother and friend, Dr. Maxwell Ampong.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Good morning, everyone. Honorable participants, distinguished guests, I would like to first of all thank you for attending this event. As we engage in this crucial discussion on the impact of financial literacy in ensuring post-retirement security, Maxwell Investment Group Business Forum Volume 2 at the British Council, it is imperative that we ground the conversation in the context of our beloved country, Ghana. Our country has witnessed a noteworthy progression in life expectancy, reflecting global trends. And this is not only according to the World Health Organization. Life expectancy has risen over the last 2 decades, from 2000 to 2019. Yet, we must acknowledge that there's a gap between life expectancy and healthy life expectancy. These echo global observations that a longer life does not necessarily equate to a healthier life. Around 2010, Ghana had one of the highest proportions of persons aged 60 plus within the African sub-region. I think it was around 7.something%. I think we should have had this problem then, 15 years ago. Circa 15 years later, all of us have to ask ourselves, what has contributed to the lives of the aged back then, 15 years from that time till now? Today we are going to ask ourselves, do we have enough of a foundation to build a comfortable life for ourselves in our golden years? And that is why we are here. It's why Maxwell Investment Group, with our friends from the MPRA, the MPA, the NIC, legal brains are here. Members of the secondary and primary security markets, traders are here. Students are here from UGBS, Friends of the Africa School of Entrepreneurship. It's because we know the value of retrospective analysis of a future that we have not lived, from people that are living with us now but have lived the probable future we are going to live in a past that we stand with them now. Imagine meeting yourself 15 years in future, 20 years, and asking yourself, how was it like? And being able to take values from that. The Q&A session from this is going to be exciting for me, myself. I find this consensus, this referendum, this forum, very invaluable to me, myself, my team, and everybody here. We have to ensure that our elderly are not only financially secure, but also lead a healthy and fulfilling life. And this healthy and fulfilling life is not cheap. In closing, I urge each and every one of you to actively engage in our sessions today, after the presentations, as we strive to strengthen our national structures by understanding these structures a bit more through the presentations, that very informative presentations that will be had today. With consistent efforts, I believe, towards improvement, not necessarily large and one-time improvement, but with consistent small efforts, I personally believe that we can make retirement a truly golden era of well-being and of dignity for myself, for everybody here, and for the people that we love the most within our beloved country, Ghana. Once again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
And our host for today, please, one more time, a round of applause. Thank you for setting the tone with those very important statistics on life expectancy and health, talking about how our elderly are not just to be financially secure, but are expected to live a healthy, happy life in dignity. We want to zoom straight into our presentations, the first being the knowledge, skills, and financial literacy and retirement planning. Let me come down there.
Actually a powerful tool. So when you're knowledgeable about how to manage your finances and then how to plan your life ahead, even though we are not too sure we are going to live long and all of that. Planning ahead is quite. As you rightly said, hopefully the next year is also 2 years how they're trying to invest in assets as well.
Let me come to my seniors. Hello, Daddy. How old are you? 60. You are 60. In your day, what were the thoughts around retirement planning, financial management, and all that? Share with us a few.
When you started life, who sees your brightness, you are, or no, you didn't do that. What were your plans concerning pension? What kind of investments? What were the costs? I know it goes to you must buy a taxi, you must build a house in your hometown. What were the kind of investment decisions then?
The investment decision then was to have a good end. A lot happening. Yes, a lot happening in our way. So everything has changed, and the time trying to go into a new investment, which I think that's what happened.
So let me ask, how many are over age 60 here? Okay, see, your time was very good. When you started, it was very good. There was time to run out. But there wasn't any investment like people who farm for you, give your money to you to farm. There wasn't anything like that. It was very good then. But now things have changed. There wasn't internet, so you couldn't do online businesses. Okay, but now let's come to the young people. So, today there's a huge number of options when it comes to financial planning. What are the kind of investments you are looking at to save that in the future?
Okay, so currently, we have the treasury bills and stuff, but for our generation, I think we are more because of the fintech, like cryptocurrencies and such.
Cryptocurrency.
Let me ask our fathers and mothers what they think about cryptocurrency. Daddy, have you heard of cryptocurrency? Will you invest your money inside?
There was nothing like that. We were going and having fishing and dressing. We didn't get anybody to advance us. So we used all our money and in fact, they were selling land. It was two pounds. They were like 2 years. Let's say there were some estate buildings. They said, okay, you are hiring a room. Okay, come and pay that money, that rent. Come and pay every month. We deduct you something small so that at the tail end, when it's 10 years, you get a whole land. State housing. You know, the form they gave me, I used the form, not apology. I use the phone for toilet. And I use them as a phone that I have to say this behind them. And I use them.
Alright. Please, a round of applause for that. Let's see, how many of us are 40s? How many of us are 40s? Okay, let me come to you, sir. So we are between the old school. We are between the old school and the new school. Share with us, sir, what were your thoughts concerning investment retirement planning, and what are your thoughts now?
Yes, I was a little bit fortunate to understand some kind of investment towards retirement. And if I could remember, the first thing has to do with insurance. And I also find myself working within that space. So for retirement, thinking about at least in Ghana, the law says 60 years you go on retirement. So investment towards retirement was something key. Even has to do with your children, thinking of some kind of educational fund for them. Going beyond that, thinking about family policies and all those kind of things, which necessarily move an investment. So for me, retirement was something key to me. Thinking maybe at an early stage in life, maybe from I think from the 20 years or so. So investment was something that I think that at my time was much concern to me, because I also read about what retirement is also about, and then looking into the future, things would probably be difficult. So I think that one need to plan towards retirement. So I might say that I have the opportunity to really think and through about retirement.
All right. Thank you very much. And so, with these views shared, let's go into our first presentation for today. We're fortunate to be joined by a very seasoned academic and an industry practitioner. He's a lecturer in the Department of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School. He will share with us a presentation on the knowledge tilt, how knowledge has shifted through the years in financial literacy and retirement planning. Would you please make welcome Dr. Godfred Amawu.
Thank you so much for setting the pace. Max and the group, thanks so much for putting this together. It's been wonderful, and I think there's no better time than this. And we hope that after the session today, some of us will have a different perception about financial and retirement planning, and move on to do the right thing. Thank you so much. And I want to say good morning to you all. It's a privilege to lead this discussion on the topic. Please, if you can you project the material for us? So this morning, within the next 20 minutes, we want to have a discussion on knowledge built in financial literacy and retirement planning. Obviously, we will all retire one day. Sometimes, as our daddy said, you are young and you think retirement, you know it will come, but it is not now. But it will catch up with you so fast that you sit down and you begin asking yourself, is it true that I'm retiring? You know? And for the fact that it will catch up with us, calls for planning, right? Calls for planning. And financial literacy, by definition, has to do with the skills and the knowledge you need to be able to plan or to manage your financial assets. Obviously, if you don't have a very good idea about your finances, then you're going to run into trouble. Somebody says, money is blood, or blood is money. Which is which? Blood is money. And if blood is life, then it means that if you don't manage your money well, your life will be affected. Do you agree with me? You agree? Okay. So if your life is not well planned, there's going to be trouble. And that is why it is very, very important for us to pay attention to the issue of financial literacy, and also within the context of retirement.
is it very important to have an idea about your finances? Of course, investing in yourself is a kind of the first investment that you want to offer to yourself, because that is what will bring the money. Now, investing in yourself, there are other assets that you might want to invest in. So it could be the fixed income securities, it could be any of the money market instruments, it could even be going into entrepreneurial businesses. They are all investments, right? And all these investments are supposed to lead you to have a sound financial position. Now, with all this in mind, you are heading towards your retirement stage. So whatever investment you do today to be able to put you in a position so that you can live comfortably when you retire. Right? Okay. So in order not to assume that everybody here understands what financial literacy is, that is why we are taking the time to look at the issues of financial literacy. Why is it important? So that you know where to put your money. You know which instrument to put your money. You know which retirement product to put your money in. You know where to put your money in. We'll be looking at the other part of the discussion, the tilt in time, in knowledge. So if you are not well informed financially, you take wrong financial decisions. What are the instruments that will give you the highest yield within the insurance sector, the banking sector, the financial sector, or any of the sectors, even into the real estate sector? You don't just get up, somebody tells you, oh, we've heard that there's a business in town. If you take 5,000 there, within 3 months you get 10,000. So you also go and sell your father's land in the village and run, take the money and dump it in. I don't want to mention men's gold. So the point is that if you are really financially literate, the core point is that it will help you to take sound financial decisions. You'll be able to assess the risk of every investment and take the right decision. Now, let's look at the issue on retirement. Retirement plan. So, retirement planning basically can take any form. So, what are you going to do when you are on retirement? But we want to concentrate on the financial part of your retirement. So, you can decide that, okay, I want to go on retirement. And when I go on retirement, I become the one of the elders in my community, so I can go and stay in the family house. Then I can be managing the land small, be selling it small. You try that one and see. You'll be in the house and the small boys in town will come and insult you in your own house. Yeah. You can also decide that, okay, I want to retire by maybe building a business here in Accra and managing it. Anyhow you want to plan your retirement, it's your decision and it's a choice you must make. And one of those options you need to consider is to have a sound financial knowledge in the retirement products that are available to you on the market. Hello. So retirement planning is very, very important. Why do you think we need to have an idea, or we need to have a retirement planning, an excellent retirement planning? You see, the point is that from active work to retirement is a transition. And if you are not able to maintain the same standard, you're going to crash. Just imagine you have, those of you who visit the kitchen a lot, you have fresh tilapia that you want to fry. okay, and you have boiling oil. If you lift the tilapia fresh into the oil, what happens? Sometimes the oil could even splash. What it means is that tilapia, you're moving from the normal condition to a new condition. That oil is not ready to receive it in that form, so it will reject it. So the best you can do is to create environment for you to have that tilapia move into the new environment, and the transition should be smooth. So the best you can do is to lower the heat in the oil, then you can put the tilapia in. You see, my mom is nodding the head because she understands what I'm saying. Then when the tilapia gets into the oil, you can now increase the intensity of the oil gradually. You can liken that to retirement. So the transition from normal work or active work to retirement can be something else. If you're not able to manage it, it throws you out. So that is when you sit down and start asking all the questions. And once you start asking all the questions, if you're not fortunate, you go home fast. Yes, you go home fast. So it is important because you need to maintain the standard of living. It also helps you to prepare for a longer life. It helps you to prepare for a longer life when you plan your retirement properly. Well, we always say that if you fail to plan, it means you are failing to. If you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yes. So if you're not able to plan it properly, you might not have the time to live long enough. If you plan, it also helps you to meet any emergency need. Of course, as you grow in, there are a lot of issues that it could be health related, it could be family related, it could be societal issues. Some will come as an emergency. If you planned, you have enough buffer to be able to deal with some of these emergency needs. It also helps you to fight against economic factors, most especially inflation. Of course, if somebody tells you if you're going to retire in 20 years time, and somebody tells you that, oh, Senate will be paying you 10,000 Ghana cedis. In 20 years time, you'll be taking 10,000 Ghana cedis. We are likely to say, oh, that is a good deal, that's good. Oh, if I have 10 Ghana cedis, I can live good. But I can tell you that 20 years time, 10,000 Ghana cedis might not be able to take you for a day or two, simply because there is that monster there called inflation that will chop a chunk of that money, that what you plan to do with it you can't do. So when you plan your retirement properly, you'll be able to fight the effect of inflation. Most importantly, you also have the opportunity to leave some legacy. Our essence in life is not just to walk through life and then vanish into thin air, but I want to leave a mark behind for posterity. So you want to be asking yourself, if I depart today, what am I leaving for the younger generation? There could be your children, or there could be anyone who depends on you. Remember that when you plan properly, it also gives you the opportunity to help others, especially your family. Especially your family. Your kids, of course, are the most important assets that you want to invest in, but you spend all the time on them. Yes, I agree. They'll go to London, they will be living in the US, and they'll be calling you back in Ghana, oh daddy, mommy, how are you? But they will not be here to take care of you. Agreed. Yes, the elderly ones who understand what I'm saying now. They will not be here to take care. They can be sending all the money, but the money will not be enough for you to enjoy your time in retirement. That is why sometimes you need to make provision for your family. Yes, make provision. Invest a bit of it in them, because at the time your kids are in America and in Britain, they will also be around you to tell you nice stories, so that you can be excited and you also have some energy to live on. It also helps you to become financially independent. Financially independent. This is not the time to call Kweku. You're not sending me anything this month. What is happening? And once the thing is delaying, then you are getting angry. And once you are getting angry, your BP is going up. The next time, ambulance, ping, 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 ping. But if you are financially independent, you've invested enough towards your post-retirement. I mean, the cash will be flowing. Some will be coming from the treasury bills. Some will be coming from the bonds you've invested in. Oh, those buildings that you put up there, they'll be paying the rent, right? In a month, the money hits your account and you'll be smiling. When you get up, oh, I'm going to holidays. So you'll be in the Eastern region, sleeping in the best of hotels. You find yourself in Dubai, and you'll be sleeping in some nice hotels. Tell me, with all this, won't you live long? Oh, you will live long. Oh, you will live long. Oh, you will definitely live long. That is why it's very, very important for us to pay attention to this retirement planning. Jerry, to look at the issue of knowledge in financial literacy and retirement planning. As Jerry was initially illustrating, what was happening in our father's time is not the same thing that is happening now. The financial literacy knowledge 30 years, 50 years ago is not the same thing. So obviously, that notes on financial literacy 20 years time should not be repeated now, because the dynamics are changing, right? So therefore, we need to have a clearer understanding of the issues now, so that we'll be able to make the right retirement planning decisions. If you look at the issues now, the younger generation, once you start talking about financial literacy and retirement planning, it's difficult to convince them. Some feel like, for me, I just need to develop myself. There's more time for me. Oh, I have a lot of time. So when you call for, if you put up an ad and say, look, come, let's have a discussion on financial literacy, as Max and his team is doing, I'm sure that the younger ones here, if not that somebody push them, they won't come. They are not interested. They will not be interested. What is the issue? So that is the first issue here. Why is that the younger people within our system are not interested in financial literacy and also retirement plan? Why? Could it be that our educational system are dysfunctional in terms of creating that environment and delivering the right lectures on the need to plan? Could it be so? Or could it be that we parents are failing to start creating that awareness within our kids, that look, you need to have an idea about your finances, the issues, the trending issues in the finances? Is it that we are failing to create that to be part of their DNA right from the beginning? Or could it be that we are not deliberate about this whole issue? Or could it be that government is not too much bothered about it, that we are focusing on other things, building roads, 24-hour economy, free SHS, but we are not deliberate about creating that awareness within the younger age groups. And these are serious issues. And I'm very happy this team is trying to bring this to the table. And I'm also hoping that this discussion move on so that we can have all the stakeholders involved and see how we can get institutions to deliberately include this, especially in academia, to include this in their educational curricula. It's very, very important. The second group is the elderly, who will keep asking themselves, and my daddy really puts that so clear. He says they wish they know what they know now when they were young, as far as retirement planning or investment is concerned. If you ask most people who are 60 years and above for retirement, they will tell you, I wish I know. I wish Maxwell Group of Investment were in my days so that they can tell me what I have to do. I wish that this investment is there. I could have done it. I wish. So this is a group who says we are not interested. They have the opportunity. We are not interested. This is another group who say, oh, we wish we had that knowledge. Whichever way it is not too late. It is not too late. That is why we are here, and the need to properly plan in terms of investment towards our retirement. I also want to draw attention to another knowledge shift. As I mentioned earlier, the financial system or our financial market is dynamic. Things are changing. Instruments that were not available 10 years today is a different story. So the first person Jerry asked the younger group, they started talking about cryptocurrency. So you can see that their time things are different. So, and one of our I think also our daddy was asked, do you know about cryptocurrency? He said, no, I have no idea. But it's existing. That is the era now. Those are some of the instruments that are in code trending, that are making the money. So having the knowledge on the relevant investment and also having a knowledge about how to manage this investment is very key. So when the younger ones are talking about the cryptocurrencies, the other ones will be talking about land. They'll be talking about land. But there is something that we need to be aware of. What are the dynamics? The dynamics. We need to consider the issue of what is trending. Currently, we are in a situation where risk-free instruments, what we call the treasury bill, the yield is higher than risky assets like bonds, like government bonds or any other bonds. Yes, anybody can check that. Meanwhile, classical economists will tell us that risky assets, you have a higher returns than risk-free. But we are in a situation where risk-free, so everybody is now investing in risk-free treasury bill because the yield on the treasury bill will not be higher than taking any other extra risk in investing. If you don't have an idea on what is trending, you end up taking the wrong decision. So having a clearer financial idea about the most relevant instrument is key. In financial literacy and retirement planning, you could also be asking yourself, what would be the state of my investment? Should there be any regulatory readjustment? So in case there is a regulation into an industry, let's say insurance industry, it will affect your returns. So having an idea about the financial literacy as far as the financial insurance industry is concerned is very, very important. In the banking sector, BOJ can come up with a new regulation and it can affect your investment. No two ways about that. It could also be possible there could be a cleanup. We had a cleanup in the banking sector. Who knows? We could have a cleanup in the insurance sector. The next time we don't know where the cleanup is going to come from. Or it could be a cleanup in the, of course, pensions. Yes. So you'll be asking, if there is a cleanup, to what degree will it affect my investment? And you must factor all that into your financial planning. Have a detailed knowledge and make provision for it. Oh, there could even be haircuts. And I'm very happy that now most Ghanaians know what a haircut is. If there is a haircut, obviously you'll be affected. Some people have lost almost half of their investment as a result of our current haircuts. I had an investment somewhere. I needed the money to do some other investment, and I called the broker. Can you resolve this investment for me? He said, Fred, if I do, you're going to lose this amount of money because we are using something we call market value. I said, you? Really? I said, okay, if that's the case, then leave that money there. I'll go and borrow the money from somewhere and use it to do that business. But you also must be mindful of the possibility of haircuts and how it can affect your planning, your investment. Remember, debt restructuring is not too far from us because we are in it, right? Yes. Wherever you invest, what quantum of investment you have in there, if there is a debt restructuring, you will be affected. And all this are the new change, reposition in knowledge as far as financial literacy and retirement is concerned. You mentioned something about haircuts, people will be looking at you like, what are you talking about? If you talk about debt restructuring, it sounds like it's something in book. Yeah. But now we understand. We understand what it is. Look at the knowledge fields within our economy or within our country. We should also be mindful that globally there are changes that are happening across. We should be mindful of the fact that war in Israel can affect your investment. Oh, if COVID can affect our economic conditions, then of course the war in Russia and Ukraine obviously would have effect, and any other war between Israel and the rest in the Middle East would definitely affect our planning, our investment. Hello. So globally, we need to be aware of the change, the shift in knowledge as far as the financial positions are concerned. Cryptocurrency and IA, artificial intelligence, is what is driving the world now. Somebody can sit in the comfort of his home and be making thousands of money. The dynamics are changing, and the earlier we get involved and understand the issues, the better it will be for us to properly understand the financial issues and then plan for our retirement. Why should we be bothered? If we are not bothered, there's a strong link between financial literacy and economic development. That one, no two ways about it. But retirement planning and economic development, the link is not clear. What it means is that if you don't plan, and you misuse your money, that money will shift from you to another person, and that person will make good use of it, and at retirement you'll be the one who will be crying. We need to be bothered, because retirement is a time to retire from active work, but not to retire from life. If we want to enjoy the concluding part of our lives, we need to plan now. And if we have the right information, we have the right knowledge, and we do the right thing, I think that we'll be happy in retirement, all of us, and those around us will be happy. There will be peace in the country, and we are all going to have a very conducive environment to live and live long. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Jerry, if there's any question, I want to when we finish. Okay. So Jerry has granted me the opportunity. If there's any contribution, any question you want to add to the discussion, that would be wonderful.
We shall take 3 in a row and revert to our speaker. Please raise your hand, identify yourself, your question, your suggestion, your observation. If you want to prophesy too, we'll take it. Yes, sir. It should be a simple question, not an MP3 question.
Thank you for the opportunity. Not really a question, but a contribution. When Dr. Godfred was talking, he was asking questions about why the current generation, the Gen Z, are not really interested in investing. As he said, when you tune in your radio or TV station, you'll be hearing haircuts here and there. Myself, I know quite a number of family members who have lost their investment at some banks that I don't want to mention their names because of the maybe financial banking sector cleanup or 1 or 2 things that have been happening in the financial sector. So if a child like me, I'm also sitting down, and a brother or a sister is suffering from such an investment, why will I also go and do another investment like that? So for myself, I decided to something I decided to do, like maybe every month I should buy $10 and keep it somewhere, have susu box. So that's what I decided to do. But this morning I woke up and I realized that now the city is chasing the dollar at around 14 cedis to $1. So even in January I bought $10 around somewhere around 150 or something. No, I mean, yeah. And now I'll have to go and look for about more than 15 or 20% of such an amount. Imagine you are going to keep the money somewhere, or you're going to keep it in a bank, and in the future you're going to lose that particular money when you can keep it in maybe your susu box. The only risk is that disasters can happen and you may lose everything. But it's better than maybe investing in a bank. And now too, there's Bitcoin or something. You decided you can put your money there. There are risk to everything, but you look at what you can manage. So maybe that's why we the Gen Z are not really interested in these treasury bills or any other things that we are discussing.
Please, thank you for the platform. When Dr. Godfred was speaking, he talked about things that can affect our investment. And I know some of us might not take it seriously, but personally, I think it's a very serious thing that we must pay attention to, because I'm an advanced forex trader, and if anybody here is a forex trader, you know that there's CPI news, there's FOMC news. Those things can just make you lose everything in just minutes or hours. Okay, so when you are investing, you should factor in your risk management plan, and you should make it something very, very crucial to your plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. My name is Rashid. I think excellent presentation from Doc. But what I want to comment on is there's this saying that goes that no decision is risk-free. And until recently, we all thought treasury bill, government bonds were all risk-free. But if we should ask ourselves, do we still have risk-free investments in Ghana? So what an advice I can add to what Doc has spoken about is maybe diversification. You need to have a mix, a certain mix or pool of investment. So like the young man buying dollars, there's still some forex risks there, right? And the risks of robbers, God forbid, breaking into your house, you lose everything. So maybe when you reach some level and then you know you can convert part of that to a landed property. So if you have a mix, at least if a place catches fire, the other side can quench it for you and then you'll be happy. So diversification is very important. Don't stay on one investment path. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Wonderful comments. Any questions? Questions? Yes, I see a hand at the back. Is it a question?
Yes, please. Thank you very much. I am Noah Angeline. I'm with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. That was a good presentation. Having listened to you carefully, right from the start to the end, I have learned a lot, and I would like to pose a question. It has to do with the haircut and the challenges confronted with the financial sector of our country. However, my question will take into consideration, given your presentation, what mitigation measures would you propound for government and the individual? The individual is in the context of the citizen to put in place. Because as it stands now, going forward, is likely it might recur. So what is the contingency measures that you would want to share with us as government, as the first phase of the question, and as an individual, the second phase of the question, to mitigate or avoid it completely from recurring? Thank you.
So, Jerry, I wouldn't want to go into the details of the debt restructuring and the haircuts, but we are looking at financial literacy, and as far as retirement is concerned, we want to stick to what you can do as an individual to mitigate the effect of any haircut, whether it's haircut part 1 or part 2 or 3. The most important thing is what one of our colleagues mentioned, the issue of diversification. The issue of diversification is very key. As we speak now, you can invest in international assets, you can invest in fixed income securities, you can invest in stocks, you can invest in real estates. In fact, you can do farming. So what it is if you push all your investment into, let's say, fixed income security, and there is a haircut, you'll be in trouble. So you remember when this whole haircut thing started, there were some people, they dumped
quickly and start renting it. Well, but obviously that comes with its issues. So if you have something to do with that money, but not immediate, just keep it in the bill and keep watching. If you see something that you are not comfortable, withdraw it. If they can melt it and give you the exact amount, right, just take it and let's see. But with time, Jerry, I believe that we'll get out of this and we'll get back to our normal economic situation so that you can invest comfortably without thinking of what will happen tomorrow. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Godfred Amaru, lecturer at the Department of Finance, UGBS. Thank you very much for walking us through our first presentation on the knowledge tilt in financial literacy and retirement planning. Lots of takeaways, but for me, what is most pressing is the fact that we need to really understand that retirement planning should be planned properly to factor in inflation and leave an inheritance for dependents. Two groups have been identified: the young ones who are tech savvy and very unconcerned at this stage because they feel retirement is a long shot. And then we have our conventional pensioners who are also seeking to maximize on their little pensions available. The role of educational institutions and the family and or government in deliberately instilling knowledge in our young ones is also very key. But most pressing is the fact that the state of our returns in the event of financial or regulatory adjustment is also very important. So while we're planning for our pensions, we should bear in mind that. Additionally, we should be mindful of global headwinds like war in Iraq and everything which can impact on our investments here. Lastly, we should take advantage of the various investment instruments that are available, but while at that, be mindful of the risk factors and diversify. Please, a round of applause once again for Dr. Amaru. In your 20s, what do you use money for? Food, clothing, data. What again? Chilling. Now again. In your 30s and 40s, the same things apply, but with school fees for children, with housekeeping money, with remittance to parents. When you are retired, what do you use money for? You are retired. You don't pay school fees. You don't buy clothes. Oh, you are chilling at home. But if you have an idea of how much their drugs cost, hey, it's not easy. So I want us for the next few minutes to have an understanding of how life is when you're on retirement. Here to walk us through, ladies and gentlemen, our next presentation on managing finances during retirement is the General Secretary of the National Pensioners Association. Make welcome Mr. Stephen Boache.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Doing well. You see the blue young men, the ladies there. We have a slogan. I'll call out at the front. Honesty. Honesty. The honesty means, and hard way, the answer is that when we were in active service, we were honest, we worked hard, and came on time. When we are in retirement, our experience that we get, I think my advice will go to the young ones. Because the very day that you are employed, you get employment, that is where you start. Retirement is not a death warrant. It's not a firing squad that they push you and give you shot. It is how you plan it. I had a talk, and some journalists came to me later. Daddy, how did you plan your distance? I said, okay, sit down. If you can do this 1, 2, 3, it will help you. The first thing is, we have 3 things. If you are employed, either you sack, you die, or you come on retirement. But the retirement, you have to plan. You must have shelter. You raise families. How do you do it? Your salary that will be given to you, what do? You have to plan with it. I was talking to Doc. I said, I didn't know. During our time, we didn't know anything about banking. I was using money box, keeping my coins and everything there. Because I thought that one day I'll raise families. School children, school fees, and all these things. So I planned it well. In fact, I praise the Almighty God. After retirement, I've not regretted. I'm telling you, I've not regretted. I'm getting to my 80s. I'm over 70 something. You see, I've been telling my children that take advice from the elderly people. We have seen something, we have said something, we have heard something, and we have seen something. Always ask, come to us. Last Sunday after church service, three boys, they were conversing. Then one boy said, oh, me when I come on retirement, I'll just have a chair, I'll put my leg on this, I'll call for a bottle of beer, and I buy my paper and I'll be reading. I say yes. And I was laughing. Say, Daddy, why are you laughing? I say, you don't know. You don't know. Plan your life well. The very day that you are employed, that is where you have to start planning towards pension. Pension. Because, you see, there's one day when I went to the banking hall to withdraw some money, I saw an elderly person, also a pensioner. When the teller called him to come and take his money, he took the money from the envelope, then he threw the money down. Then the teller said, Daddy, why? So I asked him, Daddy, what is happening? What is this money? This money, is this sufficient for me? Then the teller said, last month you came, the same amount you took. So I went to him, Daddy, what is the problem? My landlord is chasing me. When you come on retirement and you rent a room or a house, it's like firing squad. I'm telling you, prepare to have a shelter. As I said, I'm telling you, prepare. Because when I was working, the overtime money and others, in fact, I like doing overtime because I said one day I'll raise families. So I have to plan towards that. I keep the money, I divide it into about 3 or so. The chop money, we buy other rice or this thing, we buy them down and everything for another month so that I'll get surplus money. Retirement is a time that we have to come and enjoy. But why are we not seeing so? Because we don't plan well. We don't plan that tomorrow something will happen. You see, my mother was 115 before she passed on last 2 or 3 months. And I was taking care of her. As a pensioner, when she died, the funeral and everything, it was, my people are here. You bear with me witness. And I did it as a pensioner. So I asked myself, what happened? You see, give yourself to God. When you want to do something, go to Him, pray to Him, ask before. We don't do that. I knelt down and said, my mother has died. How am I going to perform the funeral and everything? But lo and behold, God did it for me. When you are on retirement, to rent a house, as I said, is like facing the firing squad. The old man, so I have to pick the money with a small grandson. Then I had chartered a taxi for them to go to their destiny. Because it didn't plan. It didn't plan well. Pensioners, we have to enjoy. You work for over 60 years. Then you come and suffer again. Why? No, it shouldn't be so. So the young ones, I'm telling you. And also we have to contribute to the state pension scheme. Know how to plan your money. You get the money, you take it. For enjoyment is there. The money is there. You see the money, say, as for this one, when you take 1 CD, it's gone. So plan well. I beg you. I have young boys, some are in the universities in America and all this. I've been telling them, and they have planned. In fact, to be frank, for that one, they have not deceived me. Take advice from the elderly. I'm telling you, take advice. Daddy, how did you make it? How can I do it? I have this thing. When you save some money down, invest it, as doctor said. And I told him, all banks are the same. When it affects one bank, it will affect all the banks. So what do we do? But we have to. We have to. When you come on pensions, your health, that is the most dangerous thing. And if you don't have anything with you, what do? You go to your grave. So as you are coming, you are not yet getting to 60. Anytime when I'm traveling, I meet the police at the barrier. They say, hey, pensioners. Well, I say, you are coming. We are waiting for us. Oh. Then they say, oh, Daddy, me, it has left about 25, 30. I say, oh, you are almost there. So you plan well. You see, we are saying that because when I started in the 20s. I thought I was very, very young, so I did not care. I was doing this as my brother said. But I didn't know. One day I said, no, I have to think. You see, so the young ones, I beg you, I advise you, whatever you have, plan. Keep money. Save money. Don't use all. Enjoyment. You raise families, so how do you take care of them? You don't have shelter. You go and rent? No. We here, you see us as if we are this, but we are happy. We are happy. We are very, very happy. When I look at the young ones, at times I see them. In fact, in my church, they know me. I'll come to you. What have you done? What have you prepared? That day, you see, I'm not yet getting to pension. I say, one day, the Bible says, one day, as we say, our birthdays are, no. One day is gone, then the number of days is also gone. If you have 20, the one day, as we woke up today, one day is gone on our age. So by all means, we are going. So I'm telling you, pension is not a death penalty. It's a place where you have to come and enjoy, but planning. The pensioners, they know themselves. Our people, we are about 80,000, our association. Over 30,000. And we are okay. Most of us, not all of us anyway, but those who plan well, they are okay. They are okay. My man there with the white beard, if he tells you his story, they will say, and you are sitting down like this. You see, he planned well. At that time, our money, how much was it? TDC, where I was passing to my workplace, they will put TDC people will put a table there with keys for the houses. It's small. We are renting this house with the kids. I go and pick one. The room that I say, me? No. I ran away from them. I did not pass there again. They will come and cross me. But lo and behold, one day I was able to purchase one. Because I say, yes. You see, so pensions, as I'm saying, if I can talk a lot about this thing, but you, I'm thinking about you. We have been in the waters already. Whether it is hot or cold, we are in. You are now coming. But plan well, prepare before you come. Before you come. Shelter. Don't rent a house or a room when you are on retirement. It will kill you quickly. It will kill you. Because anytime at all, this thing, the landlord will come and tell you that I've increased my distance. If you can't, I'll go away. And where will you go? Some of my people whom I work with, they went home, and most of them are dead. They are dead. You see, so I beg you, for me, whatever I will say, when I meet the young ones, usually, in fact, I like the young ones, I group them. So, Charlie, let's go, it's ending, let's go and take one bottle. You won't take one bottle, you take more than 4. Yes. It's bad. Think about tomorrow. Think about tomorrow. Look at us here. As I said, some are getting to 90. Some of us are getting to 80. And others. But we are happy. We are not fighting for anything. When the time comes and the old man calls us, we go. Yes, we go. So I beg you, plan your life well. Your finances. Don't say, somebody told me that we don't build houses when we save a lot of money before. No. You can start gradually. You can start. Advise my boss who were under my boys who were under me. I told them, go and buy a quarter plot or this thing. I arranged with the bank and they were giving them loans. Those who took my advice, they have houses. Those who did not, they are gone. So I beg you, pensioners, our advice is, you see us like this, but some people, when they see pensioners at a certain banking hall, when we went there, yes, pray that one day you go on retirement like us. Other than that, you will live to regret. Don't curse an elderly person. Ask for advice. Tell him, Daddy, how did you make it? How can I also make it? You advise you. As I told my boy, you send the money to the bank. This bank here, when the trouble comes, it will affect it. Let's go here and say, Daddy, but if we keep the money and armed robbers come to steal, what do we do? So we sat down and planned, and the money is, we divided into so many decisions and invested in so many banks. Try it. Whatever you get. Don't say I have to get 10 billion before. No. They say penny wise, pound foolish. Whatever you have, you can invest. Take care. Whatever you have. Like as some of us have done. I'm not proud of myself that I am so distant, but what I'm enjoying now as a pensioner, I feel very happy. As a pensioner, myself here, and others here. We are very, very proud. We were like you. We were like you. When were we? Where were you? Yes. At that time, we were enjoying life. I know Tema. I was staying in Tema. Yes. Siemens town. Everything was there. But you follow it. One day, you live to regret. So I thank you. My man, it's my time up. So I thank you very much. If I say I'll talk so many things. So thank you very much. Right. Thank you.
Daddy, please stay with us for 2 minutes. Let me throw these opportunities to the floor. To our young people, you want to engage our senior. A few questions, comments, suggestions. Yes, the young people are ready to engage.
Okay.
Thank you for this opportunity. So my name is Eric, and the question I'd like to ask is, you said we should be saving with the state of investing in state. I wanted to ask that, is it enough, or we should get like extra funds somewhere to be able to get up for our when we retire?
About the pensions, as I mentioned, the social security one. Are you talking about that one?
Like, is it enough?
I can't understand. Oh, Senate. Yes. Oh, yeah. You contribute to the scheme. That's what we did. All of us.
She's saying, is it enough? What comes from SNIT every month? Is it enough?
Oh, that what I take?
generally across, from your experience as an association, what comes from SNIT as pension?
Oh, yes.
Is it enough?
Yeah, what is enough? It's enough. What you are taking, some of us, what you are taking, is getting more than whatever we were receiving when we were working in active service.
Then we should be worried about.
We are not worried. Personally, we are not worried. Oh, don't be worried. Don't be worried. Why are you worried?
But the reason why we say we should be worried is that in old age pension, your expenses are a lot. That's ridiculous.
Catch.
The medical bills are here. You are paid to us.
You.
The reason you paid to us is that you are saving.
Yes.
So why should you be worried?
Then there is what? No. You catch your coat according to your size.
For the next few minutes, I want you to. The times have changed. In your time, there was just DTV. There was no mobile phone. You pay water. You pay
Yes.
school fees.
Yes.
You don't pay anything. You relate to your father or mother. That's it. In today's world, me, I pay DSTV. For myself and my parents.
Yes.
I buy data for my home, for my parents.
Yes.
I rent my parents.
Yes.
I pay school fees. Netflix, DSTV. I do your own all the There are several attacks
Yes.
on one place.
Yes.
In those times, one salary was enough to take care of the whole family.
Okay.
Not in today's world.
Yes.
Now, my father and my mom, I give them something a little. My sisters also.
Yes.
Every day, this is not enough.
Yes.
So tell me, what are some of the things that drive costs at old age? For which reason, as a young man like me, or as a young woman,
Yeah.
we should start saving or investing towards those cost drivers. And today, with all the responsibilities on us, you are telling us that slave alone is enough.
Oh, no. Yes. Okay, go on. Go on.
If slave is enough for you,
Yes.
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 By the time we are your age,
Yes.
will slave be enough? If not, what should we invest in?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that what the salaries that we are taking, what we were taking at that time, now you are taking more than what we were taking. Because things are changing.
But the demand on the money we are taking is way more than what you do.
We were talking about DSTV. I paid DSTV for 7 televisions in my house. And I'm paying.
Before you pay for the time.
No.
Daddy, I'm talking of when you were.
Oh, when were that time? What was television? It is not there, but that is why you have to plan. Not that where you are getting, you are this now. No? You are raising families, not so. Yes. So you have to plan towards that. That's why I said that if you are getting 10,000, you know that you have these responsibilities. So you must plan this and this and this, because nothing will come again for your to top your salary unless they do increment. So we have to plan with the 10,000 that you are getting, and you can do everything. You can do it.
Let me ask you this question.
Ask.
Apart from health expenses, what is the major demand on the funds for old people or pensioners?
Okay, let me tell you. We now for pensioners, we have more pensioners, but we in our group we have a medical scheme, because we knew that when we come on retirement, our health is the most important thing. We have instituted a pension scheme that if you are a member, it will take care of you. We don't have problem with our health needs at all.
So apart from your health, what else do you use your money for?
What
else do you use your money for?
Oh, I'm a family man. I'm an elderly man. I'm a busapenyi. So do you think I'll sit down like that? You like this, you come to me, uncle, I need this, and I'll take care of you. That is how it is. So I planned, and I knew that one day all these things will happen, and I have to. So thank you very much.
Let's take 2 more.
I'm not too sure all of do like?
No,
most of you.
Uh-huh.
What happens? What scheme or what plan do your association have for those who don't have, let's say, shelter? Do you have a policy that helps them?
No.
As they are already in pension.
That's what I said. Are you done?
Yes, I'm
That's what I said. But if you come on pension, we cannot take care of your shelter. We cannot build a house for you. Ours is, what I said is, you will one day be a pensioner, so you plan for that one. Ours is our health, we do it. And even, we assist you to take loan from the bank. Yes. If the bank agree that they will give you loan, and you bring the form, we will guarantee for you. We sign for you, and they will give you a loan. Apart from the health distance, we have been doing. When one is deceased, we pay a funeral donation. When your spouse is deceased, we pay donation. There are so many things. Yes. I think. You have a question.
Hello, sir. I have a question. I think I like how you brought the God factor. Most times, people don't bring the God factor because you can plan, and you put all the strategies in place. Without a God factor, it won't work. Most times, we think about planning in the future. The question that I have is, sometimes people plan so much in the future that they refuse to live the now. I was talking to a friend, and the friend said, I say, we are going to come with retirement. She was like, so should we stop the weights and the heels and so the thought that came to mind was, why don't you try and balance it? You are living now, live well, live good, but you don't live well, live good. Your old age, you be sick, and you use the money for the medicine. But if you live well now and live good now, and you also plan towards it, at the end of the day, when you are going home, you get
That's
to
it.
live well life.
Yes.
That's
it.
That comes to ask you a question.
Okay.
If someone is not a member of your association, how does that person become a member? Is it automatic that you are a pensioner, so you're a member, or you're supposed to pick a form and fill? How does it work?
You can be a member when you were contributing to the Senate pension scheme. To the pension scheme. Then you'll be a member. Every month, SNIT will pay an allowance to you. You say pension. Every month, you receive your pension. People are taking 3,000, 10,000 and others. Their pension. What you put in there is what you come and take when you come on retirement. So you plan towards all those things. You don't come on pensioners, you take your lump sum before you plan to say, I'm going to put up a house or a building. No. You plan before, as you said first. You must plan. But you cut your coat, according to your size. Don't force yourself that what you cannot do, you say, I have to do it. I say, seek advice. Seek advice. It will help you. I'm telling you. Seek advice.
When you are going on pension, when the SNIT gives you the letter, there's something on that. You may join the SNIT, the National Pension Association. You may. It's optional. Beneath the whole thing, you see that line there. So immediately you go on pension, you have to come to our office. Then you you register, you fill a form and you register, and you become a member of the association so that you can enjoy all the facilities my boss is saying. I think that is correct. You say, no, you don't pay money, but you pay dues. They will deduct you dues as you belong to an association. It's normal.
No, you don't pay money, but you pay registration fee. Registration means we register you, we give you a book to record your contributions. That is what we don't charge much. Okay. My children. Your uncle said. Oh, the children are there to take care of him. Oh, how possible? And your children, but some people are taking care of their children as we are pensioners. I'm telling you, if you rely on your children that they will take care of you, not all of them, you must be very, very careful. Very, very careful. He will tell you that I've married, I have children, I have so and so. So be careful.
So this is a suggestion, not a question. An organization as big as yours that is associated with SNIT, which is a statutory, instead of only relying on monthly payouts to members in the form of pension benefits, all businesses that pay into the scheme and also offer some discounts to members who, once you become a retiree, you don't have to pay the same price that everybody is paying by, let's say, ShopRite or other companies. Maybe there can be a sort of scheme or some incentive for those businesses to offer discounts because many people in retirement, their income is lower. So why should they be paying the same amount of money to buy the things as young people?
Oh.
This is just a suggestion. Subject to
You see, the SNIT that we have added to you see our vehicle there, National Pension SNIT. We have a check-off system. That is the contribution we do. We make every month, every member. That's what SNIT do, the check-off system for us, and we get the pension every month. That is why the SNIT is there, because I told you from the beginning that you have to be a contributor to the SNIT scheme. So that is all. I am clear? Okay. Oh, it will be this year. Let us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The team watching, the General Secretary, we gave very gifts, and one of those amazing gifts is the gift of insurance. We want to show you how making life insurance products and services can come in handy for you as you plan for your retirement. And then we shall follow it up with the regulator's experience, I beg your pardon, on employees' attitude toward pension contributions. These two amazing presentations coming up shortly, but let's take a little break, just 1 minute, stretch a little while we receive music from, it's the Ghana Dance Ensemble. Take it away. The restrooms are located right there in the aisle. Please stretch for a minute and then let's reconvene for the next part.
Thank you.
penetration is how we compare the performance of insurance industry to the entire gross domestic products of Ghana. So even if you are growing and the economy is growing faster than the industry, the penetration ratio is still going to be low. So we need to grow faster than the average Ghanaian economy. I still don't have the slides, so I'll continue. Apart from the insurance penetration, the insurance industry plays a critical role in the socio-economic development of the country. And as at end of the year 2023, we paid an amount of 264 million cedis as tax and made profit of 188 million for the entire industry. And we have an insurance coverage ratio. Please, the next slides, so that the participants can see. Okay, so this is just a breakdown of the industry. We are top the National Insurance Commission. We have intermediaries, and then we have life and non-life insurance companies. Currently, we have 26 non-life insurance companies. These are the companies that deals with general, like motor, home insurance, fire and thefts and stuff. And then we have life insurance. That's where we would zoom in more and have more discussion. And then we have 126 intermediaries. They include brokers, loss adjusters, and technical service providers. But we have over 5,000 agents in the market. Next slide, please. So this is what I was talking about earlier. In terms of insurance penetration, we are at 1%. And then we made profit of 800. Have what we call universal life insurance products, and these products offers both risk and savings opportunities. So when you buy these products, part of the premiums are invested towards your savings. In case you need a temporary measure, you can come and cash out, and then the risk component will be growing. When there's a funeral or an accident, it will trigger and then help you out of that. It works almost the same way as the endowment. And then we have the group life insurance policies. These are for groups like our parents here, the Pensioners Association, and even workers. So let's say Ghana Association of Banks or even Republic Bank can buy for their staff. British Council can also buy for their staff. And then we have term life. That's more of funeral products that you buy, and then when there's any catastrophe or any unforeseen eventuality, then you can trigger it. And then we have annuities. It looks new, but it's been around for a while. So this is where the pension and retirement benefits, we'll speak more about pensions and retirements. It all goes down into the annuities. And this, we work together with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority to get this achieved. Please, next slide. So we are going to talk about how to make life insurance work. But before that, I just asked myself when we're doing these slides, what makes insurance not to work? Before I address the question of how to make insurance work. So the first one has to do with pricing. Insurance operates not in isolation, but in a conglomerate of financial sector, right? We have banks, pensions, Securities and Exchange Commission and stuff. So how the macroeconomy performs affects how the insurance industry performs and how much you pay for your insurance. That's why I listed some of the macroeconomic indicators like interest rates, inflation, and then taxes. When government increase tax, the companies will find a way to price it into the premium. Then the premium will go up. Then you lose interest. The issues of affordability comes in. Once the premium goes up, you are not able to afford again. And then employment. When people are less employed, survival is the first option, right? Let alone talk about buying insurance. You have to eat and be satisfied before you now think about mitigating your risk. But if unemployment is high, how many people will be able to buy insurance? Then it means that insurance will not work. And then we have exchange rates. So some of the medication, like for health insurance and life insurance, we have medications that are imported. So when exchange rates depreciations are high, and the companies have to import drugs, it goes a long way to affect their pricing. So the flip side or the risk factors include your age. How your age affects how much you pay for your insurance products. The gender, your lifestyle, whether you like chilling, smoking, you eat anything, you drink, and then your occupation. If you are in a high risk area like mining or driving, obviously your risk is higher compared to someone who works in a bank, who is a cashier or a teller or an MD, right? So when macroeconomic indicators are not favorable, those highlighted in red are some of the things that affect or that plays out. There will be high surrenders. You see, you want to surrender your policy because you can no longer afford the insurance premium. Then you come and say, I want to surrender, cash out. Then you take the little money you have and go away. You are not on cover. Or you cancel your policies. And then premium defaults. When people are unemployed, say if you are with controller and then you become unemployed. Now when the insurer sends your list for deductions, they don't get, it doesn't go through, it's not successful, then you're out of cover. Next slide, please. So now, making life insurance policy work, there are stakeholders within the insurance sector. Government is one, that's policy makers. I've put everybody in one bracket and they call them policy makers. Government, the regulator, the Bank of Ghana, the MPRA. So what we expect from government is to make the macroeconomic indicators more favorable. And then we also expect insurance companies to be trustworthy, right? One of the issues we face in our industry is trust. They tell you only the juicy part of the product without telling you the other side of the, so we call it mis-selling. It's a huge problem for us in our industry. That's when training and retraining and then financial literacy becomes very important. So even if the agent doesn't tell you the actuals, when you are financially sound, or in terms of financial literacy, if you are sound, you can also probe and ask further questions that will trigger him to talk to the areas he was avoiding, right? Yeah. So apart from that, we expect competitive premium rates. When these are achieved, then the uptake of insurance will what? Will go high. So these are some of the things. And then we also expect more collaboration, even though we have ongoing collaborations. In Ghana, we don't have like other jurisdictions like UK, South Africa, where all insurance regulators are put together into one. Ghana, we have separate regulators. So NPRA is one, National Health is one, National Insurance Commission is another, and then the Securities and Exchange. Elsewhere, they are all put together. So to make it work, we need to talk more among ourselves. How do we put life and health insurance together to inure to the benefits of the end user? How do we do that? But if we regulate in isolations, we miss the point of collaboration. So to make life insurance work, we need more and more collaboration. And then also premium subsidy. There's a chunk of our industry that is yet to be exploited, and that's the agri side, right? Most often, like our parents here may affirm, some pensioners, some people when they go on pension, they tend to venture into farming. So if we are successful in agri insurance, then it brings an enabling environment for pensioners to use their experience and still thrive post-retirement in agri. And that will go a long way to support food security in the country. Next slide, please. So, to the side of the insurers, we encourage them to avoid undercutting due to stiff competition within the industry. Some people deliberately reduce their rates just to win business. But once you reduce the rates, it means you are not charging commensurate premium. And when there's claim, you'll be running around to make it up and pay. And then we talk about public education and awareness creation. Insurers need to understand that they need to be visible, like corporate social responsibility, engage the media, financial literacy, and insurance literacy. Let the clients know that you don't just take their money, but you invest it in their well-being. And then encouraging partnership, right? Like the banks and insurance companies, we need to partner. The banks have huge client base. Most of them are uninsured, right? Meanwhile, banking and insurance are all finance related. So how do we bundle banking services or banking products with insurance products to get the best for the client? Partnership and innovation is key. Transparency and fairness. You take the premium, pay claims, and then you bring jargons to repudiate the claim or refuse to pay. No. You need to be transparent with the client. Thankfully, we have a new standard, reporting standard called IFRS 17. If the accountants here, they will appreciate it better. It's going to improve on reporting, transparency, and accountability in the life insurance contracts. Yeah, so next slide. Securing post-retirement future. I heard someone ask whether SNIT contribution is enough, right? Yeah, so we have something called annuities, like I said earlier. Already what SNIT is paying out as pensions is a form of annuities. And then if you look at the MPRA is here once again, if you look at the MPRA Act, Section 70, it encourages people or pensioners to use part of their 18.5 to buy annuity products from an insurance company. This is an area we know has not been exploited to the max, and we are working assiduously to get it done. So let me say, annuities is just a series of payments when you have a lump sum. So for pensioners, we have 3-tier pension scheme in Ghana, tier 1, 2, and 3, which is voluntary. So the second tier is a lump sum. and it goes to the private pensioners. And then we encourage that, the Act encourages that apart from what SNIT pays to you, when you take your lump sum, you still have the opportunity to invest that lump sum in another company, and that is a life insurer. And then at the end of the month, you get a trigger from SNIT. You get another trigger from a life insurance company. And then your retirement will be more juicy than you ever thought. In the past, we didn't have annuity products in Ghana. Thankfully, now we have them. We have about 5 that we launched in the year 2022. Even though we face some challenges, but we are still on course to revive. Next slide, please. So we said developing the annuities market. After the launch, a lot of companies started selling, like Old Mutual, Star Life, and then boom, debt exchange. And one of the biggest risks in annuities is the longevity risk, because I heard Doc earlier on say that the life expectancy of the average Ghanaian has increased. So the longevity risk is the risk that you keep paying and the person is not dying. Right? So if you buy an annuity, you have tied into a contract for life. And this is something you only get in annuity. You may not get in so many other financial investment instruments. So there was the need for the life insurance companies to have long-dated bonds, right, to also invest in. Because what you invest is not what they used to pay you. They need to have, we call it asset liability matching. So they have assumed liability. They need to put it in an asset, which also has a longer duration, like 20-year bond, 30-year, 50-year bond. So that as long as you are alive, they keep taking the proceeds from the bonds to pay you until you die. And that exchange came, unfortunately, and now the bonds markets are no longer attractive, and the annuity market has gone down. Hopefully, when we revive, we'll pick it up from there, do more sensitization and public education, and then more people can enroll on annuities and make their lives better. Okay, next slide, please. So like I said, these are some of the benefits of annuities to the policyholder. You are guaranteed of payments, and this doesn't work like the normal insurance products, whereby you may be scared that if I pay, this is not claims, and then there's time for claim, they won't pay. No, this is typically investment, and it has guaranteed period. I think SNIT2 has a minimum guarantee of 15 years, right? Yes. So if you survive beyond 15 years, now you have to report, right? So for annuities side, you don't need to report to fill a form to. As long as you are alive, the company will keep track of you and then keep paying your annuity till you are no more. And if you should unfortunately pass away before the guaranteed period, the balance is converted into a lump sum for your beneficiaries, just like SNIT. So this would encourage investment. You know, the investment sectors are interconnected. So if there's liquidity in the system, it goes a long way to lubricate the other sectors of the economy. So once people put their lump sum into the financial sector, government is able to use those funds for projects. Then we get good roads, good water supply, electricity, no doomsaw. But once the economy doesn't have those funds, then we experience challenges like doomsaw and bad roads and stuff. And then hedging against mortality risk. That was what I spoke about earlier. Mortality risk is just the risk of somebody passing away or surviving. So if you survive beyond a certain limit, then the insurer still needs to be there to cater for you. And it's the bonds market that can support the insurers to be able to meet up to their expectation and then your expectation. Next slide, please. So the challenges, like I mentioned, longevity risks, you pay, you keep paying, the person is going to 100 years, and you are wondering as a company, when will this person go so that I'll be free and keep my... So that's a risk, and there are ways to mitigate them within the risk mitigation and risk management fraternity in the companies. And then debt exchange. Enforcing regulations to use part of pensions pots to purchase annuities. And then the fraud risk. There's a risk of fraud. So in terms of money laundering, somebody may do other things, other stuff, other ways of earning money. We all know what I mean. And then now want to invest it in annuity and then get proceeds periodically. We have checks and balances that we do before we accept your lump sum. And when those measures, triggers, or shows that this is an ill-gotten wealth, it's not just going to be accepted like that and say, okay, even though we are in to receive money, it's not just any money. So we are very much aware of fraud and anti-money laundering risk. So availability of suitable long-term assets, and then tax incentives. In other jurisdictions, you see that to encourage life insurance and investment into pensions and the insurance sector, government gives tax reliefs. Here we don't have much of that. We are still working, and that's where the collaboration kicks in again. Say GRA. We are engaging with GRA and all the other regulators to say that, okay, pension and insurance are what? Useful for government and society at large. Why don't we get some tax incentives so that it will encourage people to buy more insurance products and invest in pension products? Yeah. Need for an element of compulsion. So for the life side, we don't have any compulsory insurance like we have for motor in the general. When you are driving and you don't have insurance, the police can just stop you, give you some questions, and then maybe process you for court. Other countries like Nigeria, they have compulsory annuities you have to buy when you are heading towards pension. But Ghana, we don't have that. So if we could get a bit of compulsion, and that's for the lawyers to and parliament to look at. So we are also engaging with other stakeholders to see how we can get these things, tax reliefs and some compulsion on the life insurance side to make it better for pensioners and the insuring public. Yeah, so these are some of the challenges that threatens the progress of life insurance. Next slide, please. So I will speak briefly about this. This is just a strategic snapshot from the NIC. So in terms of legal, thankfully we just passed last year or so, or 2 years ago, our act, New Insurance Act. And we are now in the process of developing regulations and directives to support the act, to make it more understandable and bring it in line with international best practices and emerging expectations of the general population. So we also have something we call the risk-based supervision and risk-based capital. So as a regulator, we have scarce resources. We can't just, like I said, we have over, if we put everybody together, we are heading almost close to 150 and over companies that we have to supervise over. We don't have the resource to supervise every single insurance company or broker. So scientifically, we have to determine who is more riskier and likely to what? Cause havoc within the industry. Then we tailor regulatory instruments and what? Resources to help them recover. Instead of just regulating everybody equally, we do tailor-made supervision and regulations. Yeah. Then we have innovation in our new act. We have something we call sandbox. So it's the emerging practice in the world. So you have a temporary license to experiment, like the fintechs and insurtechs. You design a solution. You don't have the resource yet to be called an insurance company or a broker. We can give you a playground, a normal playground, then you test your solution. If it's viable, after 2 years, we look at your data, your performance, and then we see how we can integrate you into the insurance space for you to take up. And then capacity building. Capacity building cannot be overemphasized. Day in, day out, we need capacity building. Even those of us in the sector, we still need to build our capacity because risk keeps manifesting and changing with global trends, like someone mentioned cryptocurrencies, which we didn't have. The Bank of Ghana has to now legislate new directives, new acts. So once the risk keeps emerging, we also keep building our capacity to be able to supervise and monitor new risks and emerging risk. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. I'm done. If there's any question.
We shall take 3 interventions by way of questions, suggestions, comments, a few observations. Yes, sir.
Please, you spoke about premium reports.
Premium what?
Premium reports.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know when you are out of cover, what happens to the previous deductions that the insurance commission made? Does the commission keep the money or what do you do with it?
So when you are out on cover, being out of cover comes in several folds. Okay. So if the risks manifest, we have something we call, there's a period. The insurance period spans for 1 year or more. So if the risks manifest before you went out of cover, do you get it? Maybe you didn't know, you forgot that you had a policy, right? And then over a period, maybe you lost your dad, sorry to say, but you didn't know your dad had a policy. Along the way, you saw something, a leaflet in the room, you track it, and it means he has insurance. Maybe it's over a year, or 3 months, or 6 months, right? It's over a year, it's past. But you can still claim because the risks manifested during the period that he had insurance. Do you understand? But the other leg is when you are out of cover, there's something we call ex gratia. Ex gratia. It depends on how long you've been on the policy. Okay. So if you are a very good risk, say there are people like who drive very carefully on the road, but year on year they pay premiums. After 10 years, they've not made any claim. That is a risk the insurer wants to keep. And insurance is about relationship. Okay. Maybe you're out of cover and then the insurer feels like this guy has been good. He's been driving carefully, only that he's been out of cover, unfortunately. They can decide to say, okay, benevolently, we pay for this part of your risk, and then we go. Do you get it? Yeah.
We shall take 2 more. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Do you think that the traditional bank states are taking up insurance companies' activities? I know you get that question.
Yes.
Do you have that understanding, or do you think they are doing that? And then 2, don't you think it's about time we try to limit the number of insurance companies within the space so that they can merge rather than have some limited number that, investments in that space can be well managed in the sense that there are a lot of insurance companies who do the same thing, but bringing and merging them together would probably help. I don't know what you think.
Okay, thank you for those two questions. With the first one, whether banks are taking over the work of insurance companies. That's how it looks, but practically it is not. Reason is, insurers are into the business of taking risk, right? Banks take some risk, but they don't take insurance risk. That's when I spoke about partnership. The banks have the channels. Banks have been around for so many years, and they are well capitalized. They are more capable. They have better sophisticated systems. They have wider pool of coverage. And in business, numbers makes the difference. So even if you are a bank and you seem to be in insurance, we call it bank assurance. Yes, we are well aware of the banks that are into bank assurance, and we have mechanisms in monitoring them. You can only partner with an insurance company. Eventually, the insurer keeps the risk. And it's still more beneficial to partner with somebody who has the numbers and make more profit than staying on your small corner with your fewer client base, and eventually you make underwriting losses. So practically, because the banks have the cloud, they have the brands, right? You see them almost everywhere, looking like they are taking over the work of the insurance companies. But in reality, they are not. Yeah. And with respect to mergers and acquisitions, so it's free market. It's not something you can use regulatory powers and say, company A, company B, merge. You can't. And if you look at the numbers, especially the life insurance company, we now have 17. We used to have like 25 or 23 in the past 3-4 years. But we recapitalized. One of the tools at our disposal as a regulator is to recapitalize. So we triggered it and we recapitalized. And some companies decided to merge. Even as at now, there are ongoing discussions for some companies to merge. For business reasons, it wouldn't be appropriate to mention, but trust me, there are modalities in place. And even now, there are companies who are looking forward to merging and becoming stronger and satisfying the clients better. Yeah. Thank you. Follow up.
Again, for life insurance policies, do you think, or do you think that it should compulsory for every citizen to have life insurance? Looking at, it's so sad to say, looking at what Smith is giving out, I have an opinion that if we don't take care, there will be money for us to do that Smith some years ago. Do you think, I know it's difficult for you, but I know you try to, do you think that it should be compulsory? Because life insurance should be the basis of all investments for every individual. Do you think they should be compulsory?
I agree with you. If in my previous presentations, I mentioned that there should be some bit of compulsion. If you look at the last one of, I think the second to last or so slide, we put it there, there should be a bit of compulsion, right? Especially with the group life policies. We tried. It's a matter of law and government interest and parliament. We are regulators, but we're under the Ministry of Finance. We don't have the power to take certain actions. In our new act, we had put a lot of things inside, but we couldn't get it passed. And government is the biggest employer. So assuming telling government that compulsorily insure all your employees through group life, and government says, okay, I'm the one to decide whether I pass it or not. I don't think I have the money, so I'm not going to pass it. Remove it or you don't get your act passed. Do you get it? So I agree with you, there needs to be a bit of compulsion, but it's something we need to develop and grow into. as society. And when the top guys also have this buy-in, it becomes easier. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, so like I still with the collaboration, that's where the collaboration is needed most. I mentioned GRA. Okay, we are in talks with GRA to get the tax incentives back because other countries have it. We don't see why we shouldn't have it in Ghana. And like you said, it's a disincentive. If we have it, it will go a long way to what? Encourage people to what? To buy more insurance products. And we need collaboration. We need collaboration, and hopefully we will get it back as soon as possible. Yeah.
So I have only had one those. So the first one is I'm not an insurance person.
Okay.
I'm not in insurance. I don't want insurance.
Do you have insurance?
Of course, I have insurance. Except my car. That I have no choice. I have insurance. I have insurance. And I'm breaking this prelude because you see, we are living in a country where you said this, when it's time to make claims. Now companies start becoming funny. And I'm a lawyer, so clients come to you with all these things. You realize that the payment has been made, the payments have been made, and now we are trying to around it. So bear with me if I'm not so much insurance. And when you talk about the compulsion, and my gentleman also said compulsion, I just said that because we are not, don't take us there yet. Because my thinking is that first and foremost, there are already structures in place for some compulsory insurance. Why don't you tax those ones up? Why don't you work with those ones for it to be established for the trust to be built before you go? Because believe me, I don't know how many people here, if you give us the option to insure something, will raise their hands. Because as young, I was talking to the gentleman, as young people, I'm thinking of investment. I want to invest my money, and when that occurrence takes place, I'll be in a position to take care of that issue. However, if I give my money to you and then thing happens or the thing doesn't happen, if the thing doesn't happen, you take the money forever. You understand? Actually, I've been fighting with my insurance like over 10 years I've been driving. I've never made anything. Before you go there, I'm like, oh, subsidize it. Every year they subsidize it. This year I went and they reduced the subsidy, but they said the new rule has come in that they can't bring me down because I'm coming to it. So I think my default is a suggestion. NIC, a friend told me NIC is the best rule. I don't want to believe that. Yeah. But I want to believe that if you really want an intake and put the part of compulsion, maybe it's about time you end the trust. Put in place the structures for the insurance companies to do what they are supposed to do. And then who knows, maybe my goal is a compulsion. Thank you.
Thank you for the... Jerry, you want to? Okay.
Do you have a security guard as well? Yes.
Like a watchman or something?
Security, yes.
In your house?
But workplace, there's no security guard. Okay, so we have a security. Okay. I just want to ask if you pay the security guard and no one will walk out of any.
You take your money back. Okay, thank you, Jerry. Yeah. So sometimes these are some of the examples we give to people who have concerns like you do. Insurance it doesn't work like a bank. When you put your money, especially with general insurance, life is a bit different. So it's like a pool, like we are in this room. Okay, so imagine you are paying 1,000 cedis to protect your car worth 100,000 or 50,000. Just do the math. What's the ratio? Okay, so if you were to be putting 1,000 cedis for a long time, how long will it take you? That's why you say insurance is a security and it's a risk mitigation measure. We use the contribution of many to pay for the compensation of few. Do you get it? So we are in the room, like in our basic traditional homes, in our society, when somebody has wedding, you contribute. Somebody has funeral, some people bring water, others bring maize. When somebody has naming ceremony, we all contribute. That's basically how insurance works. You may contribute for somebody's funeral, wedding, naming ceremony. For 5 years, you haven't had wedding in your house. You haven't had funeral in your house. You haven't had naming ceremony in your house. Are you going to lose hope and say that, chinchina, somebody should die, then I get to? No. So basically, that's how, just a second. So we use the contribution of many, we call it pooling. We use the contribution of many to pay for the compensation of few. So if you are in the room here, maybe out of a pool of 100, on a ratio of that, 2 people will be involved in an accident. The law of large numbers, right? 2 people will be involved in an accident. So we use the premiums of the 100 people and pay and bring our members back to what? We support them to their, we call it indemnity, we bring them back. So when it's your turn, remember that your 1,000 can't pay for your 100,000 worth of car. We have to also use other people's contribution to pay for yours. So you may think you haven't claimed, so you haven't benefited. Others have benefited on your behalf. That's the principle of insurance. And that's why financial literacy is key. For the bank, when you put your 100,000, it's yours. Anytime you come, it's there, you pick it. Insurance doesn't work like that. Okay. So I agree that we need to do more enlightening education and awareness creation for people to appreciate that. Like Jerry rightfully said, you have a security man, you pay him or her every month for 10 years. No thieves has broken into your house. Then you come and say, okay, I don't think I need insurance or I need a security. You sack him and say, bring back all the money I paid you. Is that fair? So basically, that's how insurance works. It's a security tool. Okay, yeah, thank you.
All the people say aye. Thanks very much. Funny enough, just last 2 weeks I was involved in an accident. The estimate for repair cost 23,000. Last year I nearly did not do comprehensive. But last minute I just decided that I was going to put comprehensive. The premium then cost me 2,850 for a cover of 90,000. Now, this guy who scratched me and ran away left me with a damage of about 23,000. Guess how much the insurance has decided that they will pay? 15,800. Look at me as a pensioner. No, just imagine if I were a pensioner. Won't I be happy about this great news? So please, insurance just sells you something you cannot buy with money. It's called peace of mind. Until it happens, you will not know the value of it. But I guess we'll all get there. Right now, let's go for a spot of music, and then we'll be right back with the last presentation. Orodio.
My dancers, please, I need you all back on stage. All of you, please come. Please, a round of applause as they come. Yo, bring it down. ACCRA, thank you. Senior, I beg, is there spring in your... While you were dancing, my father, Mr. Stephen Boachi, was looking at you and was remembering his heydays when he had energy. You know what we've been talking about? We've been talking about retirement. This energy you have, this boundless energy you have, it won't be there for life. You know that. This is what you do. What are your plans concerning retirement? Well, take all the time you need, just relax. Tell us, how do you envision your retirement?
So one of the most important thing about retirement for me is the fact that, like exactly what you said early on, you don't have the energy forever. So one of the most important thing you need to do, because when you are at your early stage or your older stage, money becomes really a challenge, you understand? So the most important thing is you need to save to have, resources you can tap from so that you don't become a burden to people. That's one of the most important things concerning, yeah.
So yours is in savings towards a rainy day. Let me come to my sisters here. When you grow old and you don't have this strength anymore to dance it, what will you be doing, and what are the plans that you've put in place?
I really don't have anyone like that to put my eyes on in right? So I like to do things for myself, right? So I'm not just schooling, I might be here performing, but I'm also schooling, investing into myself, yes, so that I can get something not only for myself, but to pass on to my kids.
Let me ask the last question. What's the role of insurance in what you do? You may get hurt, you may get injured. I mean, seriously, you may be sick for some time. Has it ever crossed your mind what insurance can do for you?
Yeah. Well, one thing, frankly speaking, we haven't taught, or most performing artists do not really have insurance at their mind, on their mind, because don't we also think that the insurance policies do not also, or maybe I stand to be corrected, I have not seen an insurance plan that, for performers or performing artists, for me to see, all what we see, hospital, death, travel insurance, property, and all those things. In as much as most of us, when it comes to insurance in general, most of our telcos have insurance, hospital cover and all those things. Most of us are on it. But when it comes to the broader aspects of insurance,
so you think the insurance companies should sell themselves more? At the same time, what would be your recommendation to SNIT and other pension managers in terms of your funds?
Well,
do you know that there's a SNIT scheme for those in the non-formal sector? You don't know of that?
I think I have chanced on that on their site, but I have not really delved into it. Yeah, because what I normally see is SNIT is more or less contrary to government workers. We don't really see, because it's hard for me to see a trader or let's say a plumber contributing SNIT. I think I came across it one of these days, but I stand to be corrected again. I don't know if it is really into existence, yeah.
Well, we wish you strength, we wish you long life, we wish you all the best that you wish for yourselves, and we know that in the next how many years, even if you are not as strong as you are now, still you'll be relevant and you'll be making impact. Please, a round of applause for them. All right, so gradually we are coming to a close, but let's hear from the regulator's perspective. We heard from the pensioners, we've heard from academia, we've also heard from, one of our regulators, but from a different angle. We want to now hear a final presentation on regulators' experience on employees' attitude toward pension contributions. We've sampled a few views on certain mindsets that people have concerning pensions. Walking us through this presentation, ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to have two resource persons from the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. I would welcome our first speaker, Mrs. Rosina Akrofi, and then Mr. Roland Adiko. A round of applause for them as they come.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor being here to this wonderful forum, and it's the best time and the best moment for us to have these discussions. It's very critical because it underpins the next stage, our last stage in life before death. So we all have to take coup in making sure that we take our retirement savings serious. To start with, I have 3 things that I want us all to take note of, and that is that pensions is linked to your salary. That's, if I should say, your benefits at the end of your working life is a component of your salary. So as you are, as young as you are, how much you receive and how much you expect to receive at the end of your retirement are linked together. The other thing is that pensions is a replacement income, if I should put it that way, in your final stage of working life. Pensions is to cushion you so that you will be able to live the life that you led in your working life as you grow old. As our fathers just explained to us, for you to have that successful life, you need to have good savings culture. So to start with, I would like to give a brief background in terms of the pensions industry. And as regulators, the topic is as good as and very significant for us all to have a look at. We have observed and have done some analysis in terms of how employees' attitude towards pensions contributions. But I'd like to tell you much about what the 3-tier pension schemes is all about. The Pensions Act, as we have it now, establishes MPLA, for which I'm privileged to work with. Without that, I wouldn't have been here speaking to you. So the pensions, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority was established by Act 766, and then also established the 3 tier pension schemes, which is Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, which I will explain. The pensions regulator is to regulate and ensure compliance with the Act, and to ensure that, yes, people who contribute to pensions are actually paid their pensions, and also ensure security and trust within the markets. And that is the purpose of the MPRA. The Tier 1, as we heard before, was what we call the Social Security and Insurance Trust, which SNET was established for. During the review of the Act, then we have the Basic National Social Security Scheme. It's the basic because that should be a first point of your, what do you call it, your pensions contribution or monthly contribution receiving. So the state is to provide you with the monthly pensions. And as I said, you only receive what you have saved in terms of is a component or is a defined contribution, a defined benefit scheme, which is based on formula. Your 3 best years contribution is what out of it they will do some calculations, and then you are paid on a monthly basis. Just as our insurance colleague spoke about, pensions is an annuity. SNET is more like an annuity structure where you are paid till a certain age. So with the new Pensions Act, it brought some form of enhancement. It then reduced the qualifying condition from 20 years to now 15 years. Before, you have to do 20 years of contribution before you qualify to be on SNET monthly pensions. So what has happened is that the qualifying conditions now move from 20 to 15 years. Then also the survivor benefit computation, which our brother spoke about, that per annuity you make some payment, you are paid on a monthly until a certain age that they expect that you should die. In terms of the SNIT computation, before it was 12 years. So from age 60 when you retire, you have 12 years. The expectation is that by 72, you should have gone. So with the new act, it then increased that period to 15 years. So now the expectation is that if you are 75, you should be qualified as someone who should have been gone already. And after that, if you are still surviving, they will give you a life form for you to sign to indicate that you are. Then the new act also made provision for hazardous employment benefits, which looked at age 55 as the qualifying age under the first year, which is the SNIT one. Then other related benefits. Now SNIT pay structure is no more paying lump sum. Before, under the old system, SNIT pays lump sum and also the monthly payment. That lump sum has been ceded to private pension schemes, which is the corporate trustees, as we call them. So there are several corporate trustees, and they also have to undergo a certain rigorous registration process to be licensed by National Pensions Regulatory Authority. So they are now in charge of your lump sum payments, which we call the defined contribution scheme. So with that, the law also make provision so for the funds, if you are an employee or a member of the scheme, if you move from one employer to the other, you have the opportunity to move your assets from that employer to your current employer, which we call porting in the pensions space. Then at age 50 for the tier 2, which is the occupational pension scheme, and it's more to do with at age 50, if you are unemployed, the law allows you to assess your tier 2 contributions instead of your 60 years retirement stage. So that is also one good thing that the law brought to bear to us. The other is also that under the tier 2, which is the occupational pension scheme, you are allowed to use your contribution as a collateral for primary residency, for you to acquire your primary residence, which we say your first home. So that is also one good thing. If you are an expat, it also allows that you can contribute and qualify to assess pension. If it happens that you are an expat and you haven't achieved the qualifying condition, which is retirement, you also have the opportunity to be paid the entire accrued benefits to you as a lump sum. Then upon death, the normal process upon death, and if you've not, your beneficiaries are given your contribution. Then the interesting thing that the new act brought on board is the voluntary contributions, which we call the tier 3. Under the tier 3, there is a formal one which we call the Provident Fund Scheme. The Provident Fund Scheme allows you a certain room which I'll give the contributory rate, which is 16.5 of your salary maximum, to be put into a Provident Fund Scheme if you are a former sector worker. The age of entry per our Pensions Act allows you at age 15 to start contributing to the schemes. So that we should all, as youthful as we are, we are all looking, it's important that immediately you start doing some menial work, which even at age 12, sometimes our labor law says that you can do light work. But at age 15, if you help your dad in executing a business and he gives you some money and all that, you have opportunity to be able to place some of these funds into pensions. So you don't need to be fully or gainfully employed before you start planning towards your retirement. And that we need to. Then under the third tier, which we have the Provident Fund for the formal sector, the law again looked at the informal sector, that's self-employed people. And nowadays, self-employed is not only those who are in the market, because there's a gig economy. There is also freelance workers who walks around and do consultancies and all that. So there's a need for us all to be mindful, not to look at the personal pension only for the informal sector workers. And the law allows that those who are self-employed and have not contributed to the mandatory schemes, that's the tier 1, which is the SNIT, and the tier 2, which is the occupational pension scheme managed by the private sector, private corporate trustees, to contribute fully into the personal pension schemes. And my colleague from NIC made mention of annuity, and that is where the law makes prescription for an annuity, because the understanding of the framers was that since you are self-employed and has not contributed to the mandatories, which is the tier 1, for you to receive a stream of monthly contributions or monthly benefits from the scheme, then when you are contributing into a personal pension scheme, there should be a split in terms of accounts. You should have a savings account and also a retirement account. And your savings account replicates the same character as the Provident Fund for the formal sector schemes, which has a period of access, which is, I've forgotten my terminology, but I'll get it back to you, which allows you, after 10 years under the formal sector, to have access to your contribution. But for the informal sector or self-employed people, it allows them to have access to that saving component under the personal pension scheme after 5 years. So this is how the pensions, industry or the current Pensions Act have developed or make certain provisions to help us to be able to enjoy it ourselves when we are when we get to our retirement stages. One critical thing that I also want us to be mindful as youthful and young as we are is that there is a saying in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which says that pay yourself first. If you want to make money, you have to pay yourself first. If you don't pay yourself first, government is always standing to take your money. And why am I saying this? Taxes are ways that governments collect and use for development. But one good thing which the pensions industry or the pensions contribution has is that it's tax exempted for as much as 35% of your salary. So if you want to pay yourself first, you make sure that when your salary, you push at least that 35% of your salary into that savings, which government does not, deduct any tax from. So if you have that mindset all the time, you tend to gain rather than lose. If you don't do the pensions, then government will charge you the full tax on your salary. So that is one thing that we should all bear in mind, that if you are not fully utilizing 35% of your contribution or salary, then government is taking that portion as tax. It's charging tax on that portion of your salary. So that we need to take note of. But there's one thing that I'll say is that pensions play a vital role in providing financial security in our latter stage of life, as I said, allowing us to maintain a decent standard of living after retirement. There have been, notable shift in terms of employment, which I said. There is the case where the working environment, the dynamics has changed. You have the gig, economy, where individuals have become contractors instead of working full-time with organizations. So they tend to work project by project. After completing one project, they move to the other. They no more want to work with institutions because of the expertise that has come to bear. So in terms of that, it also turned the attitude of a lot of people to look more at immediate needs. If we all have options, even within the formal sector, many of us would have opted out not to make any contributions into our future because it's futuristic. So why would I say that I should be saving now when I can enjoy now? I'm healthy, I can go and cruise at the beach, spend some money, and I'm cool because I'm seeing the money and I'm spending it now. But that is one of the attitudes that has come. But we want to break this topic into two. In terms of the challenges, we can put it in the sense that the formal sector, per our laws and regulations, has already gabbed or nudged those people into compliance, if I should put it that way, because you have no option. If we say it's mandatory, it means wherever you work, where there is employer-employee relationship, the law requires that the deduction is made, the employer sets up a scheme, or you join a scheme, a deduction is made, SNET automatically, make the deduction without even you seeing the money is deducted. So that attitude, I would say, per our laws and policies, has corrected that attitude within the formal sector structure. And again, the formal sector workers also have the opportunity to even contribute further, which is the Provident Fund schemes, which is 16.5% of their salary. In some cases, some have even extended their contributions into the personal pension schemes, which was purposely meant for the self-employed people. The law allows that if you're a formal sector worker and you still want to have additional contributions to do so. So in terms of the attitude, the formal sector employees has no option by virtue of the architecture of the law. They cannot escape it. But if given the opportunity, they will all like to eat their cake as hot as they should have. So again, these attitudes in the informal sector is different because there are certain factors that has led to this very attitude. Why should I say that? The economic situations, the immediate family needs, the conditions such as they wanting to acquire or do other things or use the money for businesses immediately without thinking of the risks which I believe the insurance people has made mention of in time. So those in the informal sector tend not to be too concerned in terms of joining a scheme. And the reasons are that financial literacy within that sector has not been that much. And I'm so grateful that this opportunity is created for us to, speak about financial security and financial literacy and all that. And I believe we should continue to trumpet this very activity to the other side of the market and not only look at the formal sector workers, because they also need that kind of education from that end. So for that reason, looking at all this, the regulator, as in MPRA, have also taken up the opportunity to structure how to engage or retune the minds of the market. And one of it is that the industry has been encouraged to be doing education and sensitization. And we've been doing this in collaboration with some employers in ensuring that the workers are well educated in terms of the pensions industry, the pensions benefits that they should be expecting, and that pensions should be of concern, because at the point of retirement and or in your pension, that is when you need certain care or certain financial support to hold on, because currently our traditional support, which is our external family structure, has all changed, in the sense that you have your children thinking about building their family, you have your sisters or your aunties also thinking about how to structure it, unlike before, where our fathers would tell us the external family support was very much on point. But currently, it's not so. So it is very critical that, as you know, as young as we are, we begin to rethink. Our moderator was giving us a position, enlightening our old our grandfathers, our grandmothers, that their time they did not have certain things. And similarly, it will get to a point where our children will also tell us that in your time you did not have certain conditions or certain things that will work for you. So it's important that we take retirement savings very serious at a very early age. And one good thing that the law has provided also is that there is a mixture of investments that are secured, because pension funds are people's life. So per government decision, pension fund investments, you cannot tax it. The funds, in respect to the DDP that happened even, there was a good opportunity for the pension funds. They had a different, arrangement from all the other, funds or investments that were with that invested in the government bonds. So it gives you some form of comfort as a young person, as an older person, that you are working, to be able to contribute to pensions or to be able to save. So these attitudes of pensions contribution by employees actually has improved, but what we have observed in the market, there have been a lot of growth in the contributions. Currently, we have almost about 50 billion of only the tier 2 and about 15 billion for the tier 1. It means that and the funds has also grown astronomically in terms of doubling from the time that the inception of the act, which is in 2010, till now. So these are all encouragement tools that I will say that as young as we are, we should be putting our minds to and begin contributing to our pension schemes. So, and further, I believe there should be collaborations just as we have here between employers and employees to design and implement, more flexible pensions schemes. And there should be customization and also personalization in engaging employees and encouraging them into pension schemes that we have. Again, in the guidelines, in the pension guidelines, we've made provision for investments into ESG's investments, or green bonds, if I should put it that way, which in further we talk about is ethical investment instruments. And also we have made certain attractive tools to the industry, which is encouraging them to use technology or leveraging on technology to be able to assess employees, so that a lot of self-employed people can also join the scheme. As you know, when you go to the market, our market women have no time to spend in discussing or enrolling with a long paper, spending about 15-20 minutes for them to be filling all these forms. The NIA structure provides the opportunity for people to be enrolled within the shortest possible time, and those are some of the things that we are advancing to make sure that it makes enrollment seamlessly easy. And then contributions as well, we use the mobile money platforms to make contributions also available to the corporate or to the schemes. So members can just set up their contribution terms in terms of the periods that they want to make contributions. So as soon as the time for contributions happens, the deductions are done without they pushing it into the scheme. So these are all few things that as regulators we've encouraged in the market to make sure that people are able to make contributions on time, and also to be able to ensure that upon their retirement they will be able to have what we call a good fund for their survival. And what we heard from our pensioners tells us that there is a need for us to plan and contribute continuously to this agenda. And in conclusion, I'll say that pensions contributions has improved, and there is a need, or especially from the employees level, for employees to be mindful or to be obligated to be checking their statements, especially those who are making contributions, to always check whether the employer, upon the deductions, has actually made the contributions to their the schemes that they've joined. And then we also need to bring more innovation into the market, as to be able to attract a lot of employees so that they will be able to contribute consistently. I'll say that this has been a great opportunity to share some of the things, and also to share the things that we've observed in terms of contributions by employees. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hello, good afternoon. So, my name is Benedict. Thank you for this awesome presentation. I want to address my fellow youngsters, my younger brothers and sisters, especially those in school. I want to use my life as an example. When I started working as a service personnel, I was lucky. I was introduced to the 3-tier pension scheme. So as a service personnel, I decided to take part of my money to contribute for the 3rd tier, which is 16.5% of your total salary. Now, the thing is that the younger ones, when you want to talk to them about pensions, they take it as a joke. I have colleagues, I talk to them. You have to put something down for yourself. And they will be like, life is too short. Tomorrow is never promised. What if tomorrow is promised to you? What if you live to see tomorrow? So I just want to use this opportunity to just admonish and encourage my colleagues, especially the younger ones. We see the older people and then we think it's easy for them, but it's not. I've spoken to some older people, and then you get to know that even though they are working, they are contributing towards their pensions, they don't even know what it's about. Whether they're tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, they know absolutely nothing. Now imagine this, you are contributing 18.5 towards tier 1 and tier 2, and then you have 16.5 left. That is a big chunk of money that if you consciously decide to save towards it, you make something when you retire. But you are even speaking to the older ones, they don't even understand what is going on. So as a regulatory body, I think you also have a charge. We need to reach out to the people, especially those around us. We need to reach out because this information we can pass it on easily. You try to explain it in the simplest form and then it will get to everybody. So this is what I have for my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Kofi Kisi. I'm a student. I have a question. So we are all being encouraged to, take our pensions and everything seriously. Now, the International Labour Organization just put out a report that by 2036, SNIT will no longer have reserves, or the reserves will be depleted to zero, which means that SNIT will not be able to pay for pensions. My question is, what does that mean for us? And then, as a regulatory body, what do you think can be done about this? Thank you.
Is there any other question? Okay, so let's.
Thank you very much. Yes, that is an actual variation that you are talking about. But actually, it's not that it will not be able. It gave conditions as to the trends if certain things are not done. It's just to, as actuaries, I think we all know what, when you do an evaluation, you are looking at the risks at a certain point in time. If A is not done, or if we should go through a certain direction, this is what is going to happen. So those are guiding things that, as regulators and the trust, we begin to look at. And as we speak, there have been several recommendations that have been made, looking at the contributory rates. Currently, what goes to SNIT out of the 18.5 is 11%, because though 13.5 goes to SNIT, 2.5 goes into your NHI health insurance. Again, some have said that let's increase the retirement age from 60 to a further age, so that at least you will have, because it's a pool. First year is more like a security, as my colleague from the insurance said. It's more like, what do you call it, a security basket, which takes care of people even who are not, whose salaries are below a certain rate. That's why you do indexation. You increase the salary every year to make sure that they match up with, the fund or the current economic situation. So all those factors has been considered and being worked at, but it doesn't mean that states will not be in existence or cannot pay pension contribution by 2023. No, that is not it. They have the capacity. It is just a sign to tell you that when you don't do A, B, C, D, or increase the base, make sure that you have enough, contributions coming in, so that you become proactive rather than inactive before the time. So SNET will still be in existence and will continue to pay its contributions or benefits to contributors. Thank you.
So, just a little contribution. I'm Rosina Akrofi. Just add something small to it. There was a question about the fact that will SNET be enough for you to take care of you when you go on retirement or something? I think no. SNET alone, the pension that you take from SNET will just not be enough. I mean, just a little at the top edge, take something that is good enough to take them home. But majority of the pensioners don't take much. So you have to diversify, put your investments in various places. I mean, farming is one of them, a whole lot, everything. Wherever you think you can also put something to tomorrow to take care of yourself, but SNET alone, because generally our salaries are very, very low. And as we say, your pension is the function of your salary. Not even your salary, it's about your basic salary. So all the allowances that adds to it might give you a very good picture, but then it is only based, the 18.5% is based on your basic salary. So let me give an example. You are giving about 5,000. Maybe your basic salary is about 1,000. Your allowances, all together, your net becomes like 5,000. But your pension is based on the 1,000 cedis. So we have to actually invest into other things to make our pensions better. And tier 3 is also one of the areas you can comfortably take advantage of. The tier 3, that is the personal pension scheme. If you add that to it, you can invest into various, trustees under the tier 3, and that will give you a better pension. When you take your SNET, you take your second tier, which is the occupational scheme, then you go to tier 3 and take as many as you want. Of course, to invest into other areas. Thank you very much.
Okay, Madam, you conclude.
My name is Joyce Daintu. I would like to know whether MPRA it's revising its investment guidelines per what we are seeing in the industry, because we would like to know that most of the percentage of the funds that are contributed goes to the government, and then few goes into the banking sectors. So what are you doing about it per what we've seen with the DDP and the banking sector cleanup? Thank you.
And while at that, solve my problem for me. That second tier that can guarantee a mortgage, what became of that? I beg you.
Okay, let me start from yours. that is still on board. It hasn't fallen apart in terms of the contributions being used as a primary mortgage. The architecture of our mortgage market also comes to play part of it because the mortgagee and the mortgage institutions would like to hold the fund. But your pension funds are for your future security. It is to guarantee that you will be able to, as you are in your working life, to be paying the monthly contributions on the mortgage. But at the same time, the Provident Fund Scheme gives you a greater opportunity to be used for that same activity. So with the Provident Fund Scheme, the law allows that you take the money to pay off your mortgage if you have signed on to a mortgage for a primary residence. Similarly, as in the Tier 2, it says that it should just be used for guarantee because that one, it's your pension. You cannot use it any other than when you are on retirement. The mortgage institutions mostly would like to have the money, but there have been several, innovations around it, especially for the Tier 2 currently, which we have considered in the market, where some of the trustees have some of the trustees have collaborated with other institutions to put up a certain vehicle that they will be able to use in offsetting the mortgage funds whilst you continue to contribute to your pensions. So we are still on it, so it's not dead yet. Thank you. Then on your question on investment guidelines, yes, we currently have structured investment guidelines to look at the different, to diversify to be diversified, if I should put it that way. Just that it is more of an action of which one you select to have 100% package. Because we have government security, which is about 75%. You have local government, which is about 30%. You have fixed deposit, which is about 35%. You have equity, which most individuals or most trustees do not even look at, which is at the capital market, which is to grow the capital market. Because it's a long term, a lot of people want to see the quick growth of their funds. So they want the short end. That's why a lot of people have moved into GOG security. So when you look at what I want to say is that when you look at the investment guideline, it gives you room to do several things. Recently, the review included the alternatives, where you have the opportunity to do an alternative, you go under the alternative market to invest in. We've even added direct investment to real estate, which you need to fulfill certain conditions. So it's actually how the advisors and the trustees, appreciate those vehicles or instruments to be invested in. But as to the investment guideline, it is very much diversified, which the market needs to take advantage. When the DDP happened, and they've now shifted to, most of these instruments. And as I said, in terms of the DDP, pension funds were safe, they were secured. The terms that were given to the pension funds were totally different from what the banks, the insurance, and all the other funds experienced. So it was even better, if I should put it that way, than any other agreement or that they had with any other fund. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. As we say thank you to our resource persons, Mr. Roland Adiko and Mrs. Rosina Akrofi of the MPRA. Thank you ever so much. At the end of this event, we encourage as many as can to please join us at the backdrop. We want to elicit your views on how we can make things better concerning this forum and, in short, the entire pensions industry. At At the end of this event too, I think we've provided packs for everybody just as a way of saying thank you for coming and sticking and staying. We shall take a group photograph too at the end of the session. It now falls to our host to render his closing remarks. Make welcome once again the CEO, our convener, Dr. Maxwell Ampong.
Another round of applause for Coach Jerry. Every time we host the MIG Business Forum, I always call Jerry late. The reason being that he's the only constant in the whole equation, and he always overperforms. So, Jerry, thank you. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been fantastic for me, because we had a whole lot of topics that we had to consider, and what we wanted to do was discuss and to learn, and I have learned a lot. I hope you have as well, and I am struck by the wealth of insights and the commitments that have been shared today at this forum. Through our deliberations, we have eliminated the pressing need to bridge the divide between a longer life and a healthier life. And like I said at the beginning, that healthier life, as our elders have told us and have confirmed, is not cheap. So crypto can help, but you might as well be looking at some other investments right now. So we must carry forward the lessons learned and the strategies discussed here, as we hope that this is an active communication and participation that will not just end here. We are open as Maxwell Investments Group, as our partners. We are open to continue the discussion outside of this forum and push the needle forward on some of the agenda that has been discussed here. Let this forum be more than just a meeting of minds, but a catalyst for action as well. Again, like I said in my opening address, at MIG, we try to do the minimum viable version of any project. We don't go for the big boom. We look at how can we just shift the needle just a little bit. Because that is how you devour a whale, one bite at a time. Nobody can, okay, well, maybe some people can't chop a whale one bite at a time, but I mean, one at one go, but we believe that it is one bite at a time that you devour a whale. And this is one very gentle bite at this big whale of a problem that we see. Very soon, I saw three gray hairs in my hair the last time. It freaked me out. Every time I'm seeing new ones, my dad is laughing right now here. Every time I see new ones, we will blink and we will be 50, 60, 70. And we would ask ourselves, what did we do after the MIG Business Forum? And again, that is why we are here. Thank you so much for the regulator for coming. Thank you so much to the NIC, so the University of Ghana Business School, both their staff and students. Thank you so very much. And I would like to thank all of you, the participants, organizers, speakers, my team, MIG. Thank you so much for helping to craft this journey as we are on. And even Ajololo, I have your name here again. Thank you so much again. You are fantastic. You are just fantastic. And humble about his greatness as well. For some reason. He's the greatest to do the game, and he's still so humble about it. So, may we go forth with a renewed purpose and ensure that this dialogue really do continue. We really believe that this is a pressing issue. It's like knowing that you are on your path to a gutter that you have to cross. You have no idea how wide it will be. You don't know whether if you leap, you will fall in it or not. It's a very real issue that it's facing us, and I am promising to continue the dialogue with the Pensioners Association, where I will pass by so that we have some more discourse and consensus on this. Again, thank everybody for coming. God bless you all. Thank you. Jerry has brought my attention to
initiative, the Africa School of Entrepreneurship, which basically came about because in our daily life, most people don't know we started in the financial services sector, actually. We quickly ran away in time as well. We decided to, so what sector do we go into after that, right? After the financial services. She's a medical doctor. She's the president of the company, but she's a licensed medical doctor. We even have an archaeologist in our team. We chose to enter into agricultural commodities trading. And we have slowly grown the company from buying just one truck of maize to being part of the largest agricultural trade union in Ghana right now. It gave us tremendous access, but everybody knows farmers are not easy to deal with. And at the same time, what we want to do is to be impactful and give value to our stakeholders, as we are trying to do today. One of the value that we give, we realize that at a certain, and please confirm or debunk this for me, at a certain age, we realize that most of our clientele, we're more worried about their children than themselves. When you give value to their child, when they call me and say, oh, my child wants to go to school in the US, do you know anybody that they can stay with? And I call someone. Or do you know anybody in the UK? And I call someone. When your child comes to school to University of Ghana, and I let them stay somewhere for 3-4 days before they find accommodation, they find it far more valuable than anything else. That's when we realize, okay, value for value, finding the actual value works. So we started what we call the Africa School of Entrepreneurship, where we give out micro-credentials. The last time that we had this, it was a training on supply chain at AH Hotel, where I think about 6 embassies came, about 20-30 companies, students from all across Ghana, and it gave certificates, valid certificates from the KNUST, signed by Professor Dixon herself, to these students or these participants. Can you imagine the amount of goods that I got after their children went home and actually showed this to their people? So we decided to make this nationwide. We changed our subsidiary League of Entrepreneurs to formally be the Africa School of Entrepreneurship. It took a while because of the name school. So we had to speak with the registrar and say, we work with accredited companies towards giving training and micro-credentials. So thank you for the prompt, Jerry. It's why a lot of students are here, because what we are looking at is how long does it take before you get, let's say, a degree or a diploma. It takes a lot of time. But our supply chain training, for instance, a lot of students have used it, or a lot of participants have used it to get jobs in warehouses. Because it doesn't take 3 years to get to know how to run a warehouse or to know how to run a specific portion of a warehouse. So when we work with a school, of which we have partnership with about 12 business schools, it's simple. Can you condense a specific skill that is needed for a specific purpose in a specific sector to a 3 to 5 day training, sometimes even 2 days? And can we reduce the price so that my stakeholders and their children and everybody around MIG, or that I call the MIG tribe, can afford it? The answer has always been yes. And we've been doing that over and over again. So students, reach out on our website. We would be very much open to speaking more with you about some of the subjects that you know more about crypto than I do. If you want us to bring some specialists in crypto to speak to you about crypto and have a certified training, the whole idea is to give value for value. MIG is an impact company. We deal with impact services and impact products. Jerry, thank you for the prompt. That's all for that's all about the Africa School of Entrepreneurship. All information is on our website. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. And that's what we do by creating value. Please, a round of applause, Dr. Maxwell Lampo. The takeaway is simple. We will all retire. We will all retire from work, but we will not retire from life. And so planning is essential. And we must plan well for our future, because as the old saying goes, the way you lay your bed is how you sleep on it. As a man with a wife and 3 side chicks, my expenses will be more. I mean, my 3 daughters, My expenses will be more when I retire. And so I'm leaving here equipped with all the knowledge to diversify my portfolio so that there too, Charlie, I will be chilling at 60. My name is Jerry Ajololo. I thank you all for the pleasure of your time and your company. Let's do this again. And when we count all the dividends that have accrued to us from our pensions, please, let's remember to make a deposit in MIG. Are we agreed on that? Let's please come up for a photo, group photo. I shall first invite our CEO together with all speakers, and thereafter I shall invite all of us to come on stage. So all our speakers, and thereafter all our delegates. MPRA, respectfully, I invite you to join us. Let me have the management of the MIG group also join. Management of MIG group, please. The next will be with the Pensioners Association, as many as are able. Oh, some can go to the other side. Okay, can I invite all students? Please wait. Let me invite all the students to join. A few can come here and a few can come here. That'll be the final shots. Charlie, help me. Thank you. Okay.